Lying on the back, allow your spine to really settle down, to feel the support of your yoga mat, of this space. I don't have to remind us the power of this space. As you breathe, feel the belly rise, feel the heart expand. Perhaps you feel an intention settle into every cell of your soul. And as you exhale, you release. With this next breath, we start anew. Release. Pull your right knee into the chest. You can make a circle with your right ankle. And then switch directions. The heaviness of the body, but there can be lightness in the ankle. Starting to move the ankle joint. And then with the knee, you can make a big circle. Starting to move the hip. And you can switch directions. Eyes can be opened or closed. And then hug the right knee back towards the chest. Take it as strong or as gentle as you need. It's going to be a twist. The right knee will come all the way across the body. Maybe you settle here, or you can bring the right arm out to the right and really extend that twist. Notice where you're rooted through that left hip, through the whole left side of the body, and where you're able to expand, breathing into the right side, into the chest. And then you'll come back to center. Both knees can hug into the chest. And then you'll switch sides. The right leg extends and the left knee hugs into the chest. Feel your spine against the ground. As you breathe, notice where you have space to breathe in. And then circle the left ankle. Maybe moving the toes, the ankle joint. Perhaps you feel something in the shin or the calf. And then switching directions. Moving the left knee in a big circle. Connecting it to the hip bone, into the socket. Can be big or small. Starting to feel that movement. And then switch directions. Notice the rest of the body, how it supports this movement. Maybe the breath is supporting you. And then come back to center. At the end of an exhale, you're going to take the left knee all the way across the body for a twist. And the left arm can extend far away from the body out to the left. That will make the twist deeper. As you breathe, really breathe into the left side. Imagine the left lung expanding. And as you exhale, maybe you twist a little deeper. Complete the exhale and come back to center. Hold both knees into the chest. And then lift your shoulders, your head up. The idea is to bring the eye sockets towards the knees, but it might not happen. That's fine. Pull the belly in, feel the strength of your core. Notice where you are supported in this pose. And then you'll hold behind your legs and rock forward and back. Moving the length of the spine. You'll come over hands and knees and we'll meet in downward facing dog. Because we're working with this chakra, especially, this idea of rooting, really feel into your hands. Imagine you have jars under each hand and you're rotating them away from one another. So you're spinning the hands away from one another to broaden the shoulders. Your arms are straight, but if you need to, you can bend the knees, pushing the tailbone up and back. The roots, the foundation of this pose. And then if the ribs are splayed open, trying to pull the rib cage together, pulling the belly button in. And then you bring awareness down the back of your legs into the feet. Definitely underneath the big toe is pressing into the mat. Notice if there's any awareness underneath the pinky toe, the small toes. And your breath. Finding space to breathe the whole length of the spine. Notice the tailbone, the base of the spine. And then slowly, one step at a time, walk the feet up to the top of the mat and you'll come into dangling pose or ragdoll. Feet can be hip distance or wider and you'll hold opposite elbows. Shifting the weight forward and back in the feet, the knees can be bent. The tailbone might feel heavy here. A nice lengthening of the lower back. The eyes can be closed, looking up to the third eye. You can still imagine the color red. And then release the hands. You'll roll up lower back, middle back, upper back. Strong through the feet, your arms will come out and up to the sky. It's this idea that we root through the feet, pull up through the quads so that we can rise. Through the sides of the body, we stretch up, fingertips up to the sky, shoulders extending up. Then you can look up to the space between your hands. Stay exactly as you are, but take your chin and bring it towards the chest so you can see your toes. And notice how as you do that, your abdomen has to engage, your belly button pulls in, the rib cage closes. Try to keep that engagement throughout the abdomen and the belly and look up again. Reach up, stretch up, inhale. Hands come together, look at the thumbs, follow the thumbs as you exhale and fold to the ground. Hands on the shins, inhale, halfway lift. Imagine looking over the edge of your yoga mat like you're looking over a diving board. And then hold behind your knees. You're gonna trace down your legs and pull yourself into a fold. Exhaling. The inhale brings the arms out and all the way up to the sky. Growing taller at the top. Hands come together. Look at the thumbs, exhale and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Hold the breath, plant the hands, step back to high plank, and then exhale in high plank. Stay here for a breath in, noticing your hands. Straighten the arms. Pull the hips up and drop the tailbone down. Breathe out. One more breath in. Pulling the heels back, exhale. Before you inhale, lower down, knees, chest, and chin, or Chaturanga. Inhale, slide forward, upward facing dog or cobra. Feel the tops of your feet pressing into the ground so much that your knees are lifted. Feel your hips pressing into the ground, which allows you to roll the shoulders onto the back. And as you inhale, you deepen the back bend, you lift up a little bit higher. Exhale through hands and knees to downward facing dog. Strong foundation, feeling your hands and your feet. Move the left foot towards center. Inhale the right foot up to the sky. Exhale, right knee comes into the chest. One more time, inhale up and back. Exhale, right knee into the chest. Look to the ground between your hands. Look at one spot on your mat and try to step your foot there. If it doesn't get there, take the hand and pull the foot forward. Left heel is going to spiral down, setting up for warrior two. So the right heel intersects the halfway between the arch of the left foot. Sit low in the hips. The left arm is going to reach to the front of your mat and beyond and spiral you up to warrior two. So hips are facing the long edge of the mat, long from fingertip to fingertip, and then look at your front foot and see if you can see the big toe. If not, guide that knee out to the side, tailbone dropping down. Looking over the front middle finger, but awareness on the base of your spine. Noticing the support in this position, your strength. I am strong. One more breath here, strong arms. Right forearm to the right thigh. Hips stay low, left arm comes overhead, extended side angle. Feel the hips sink down, root through the feet, and then really stretch through that left arm. Turn the pinky finger down towards the earth, helping to open the shoulder. And if it feels okay for your neck, you can look under the left arm. Breathing here, rooting through the feet so you can really stretch through that left side. Stay low in the legs. Left arm's gonna come to the left hip. Right arm comes up and back. You reverse the warrior. So you reach all the way to the back of the mat. Now you're stretching the right side of the body. Left fingers are gonna grab the right wrist. Stay reaching to the back of the mat and straighten the right leg. Reverse triangle. Breathe here. Notice where you have space in the body. And then you might have to move the left foot in a bit because we're going to move into triangle pose. Arms come fingertip to fingertip, the long edge of the mat like warrior two. Inhale here. And as you exhale, shift the hips back and reach forward with the right arm, setting up for Trikonasana, triangle pose. From there, lower the right arm and just notice where it falls. It doesn't have to grab for the toe. And then the left arm opens you up, Trikonasana, tucking the hips underneath. Imagine you're between two walls. So your left shoulder is completely on top of the right. Left hip is on top of the right hip. Root through the feet. So you have a solid foundation and you can rise up through that left hand, breathing into the left side of the body. Stay as you are. Left hand comes to the left hip. Bend the right knee. Right hand can come to the ground and you're going to lift up towards half moon. You can keep your right knee bent for this variation. You can stay exactly as you are, practicing your balance here, or you can lift the left hand up to the sky, option to straighten the right leg. Find your breath, be okay with the wobbles, be okay with muscles feeling tired. Take care of you. Left hand comes down, close the hips so both hips are facing the ground, and the left foot steps next to the right foot and fold. If your feet are touching, take your feet hip distance apart or wider. And any variation of a forward fold. You could come into ragdoll. You could bring peace fingers around the big toes. You could hold the back of the leg. Whatever feels good for you right now. Take a deep breath in, breathing into the back of the lungs. And a big breath out. On the inhale, the arms come out to the sky and all the way up. Stretching, imagine growing taller. Hands come together, look at the thumbs. Exhale, fold to the ground. Inhale, halfway lift. Hold that breath in. Hands come down, step back, high plank, and then breathe out. One breath in. Exhale, lower down, knees, chest, and chin, or chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Feel the collarbone smile, chest expand. And then exhale, pull from the abdomen, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Feel your foundation, connect with your hands. Feel your wrists extending, elbows extending. Strong through the shoulders. Step the right foot towards the center, inhale the left foot up to the sky. Exhale, left knee hugs into the body. Inhale, up and back. Exhale, right knee hugs into the body. Look at where you want to step and try to step exactly there. Or take your hand and move your foot forward. Right foot's going to spiral to the ground, setting up the feet for warrior two. So right foot parallel with the short edge of the mat. Right arm reaches forward, and that's going to windmill you up to warrior two. Strong through the arms. Feel the shoulders extend. Bend deeply through that left knee, and then look down and see if you can see the left big toe. The hip often wants to close the knee in. Try to open the hips here. And then bring awareness to the tailbone and let the tailbone settle in. Full breath in. Full breath out. One more breath, saying to yourself, I am strong. Left elbow comes to the left thigh, right arm overhead for extended side angle. Root through the right foot, stretch the right hip, so that your right arm reaches a bit further overhead. And then you can look underneath that right arm. Notice if there's a lot of tension in the neck, see what you can do to soften. Right hand comes towards the right hip, left hand reaches forward, up overhead and back. You come into reverse warrior. So the legs are the same as warrior two, and your upper body arches to the back of the mat. Right hand grabs the left wrist. You're going to straighten the left leg and reach to the back of the mat. Reverse triangle. From there, slide the right foot in. So you shorten the stance. And then release the arms, reaching fingertip to fingertip. Reach the left hand forward and push the hips back, lengthening the left side of the body. And then let the left arm drop, and wherever it drops, that's good for triangle. Right arm opens up to the sky, stretching fingertip to fingertip, spiraling the left hip underneath the right, breathing to the right side of the body. Rooting through the feet so you can stretch up through that right hand. Right hand comes to the hip. You're going to bend the left knee. The left knee can stay bent. The left arm reaches towards the ground, and you come into any variation of half moon. If your right foot has to stay touching the ground, so be it. If it can reach up, then maybe you have half moon with a bent left knee. Once you really feel sturdy through the left foot, you could try to straighten the left leg, or the right arm can reach up to the sky. One more breath here. Complete the exhale. Right hand comes to the ground, close the hip off, and then lower the right foot next to the left foot. Take 2 fists of distance or more, so your feet are at least hip distance apart, and then let the head fold over the legs. The knees can bend, you can sway side to side. Turn your toes out to face the corners of the mat. You're gonna come into a yogi squat. You can go really low. I can't right now because of my knee, so I'm gonna rest my forearms on my thighs and sit my hips back. If you want to go all the way down, then go all the way down. Wherever you are, your hips settle in, and then you try to pull the heart forward. Feeling your roots, the strength of your legs, and the expansion of your heart. Imagining that your roots allow you to rise. Let your eyes close. Feeling secure and stable where you are, take a few breaths. And release. Either come right to the ground or come into a fold. And we'll meet on the ground. You can come to sit. Your feet are again 2 fists of distance or more apart. Feet are flexed, so your toes are pointing straight up, your heels are into the ground. If you had jeans on with pockets, you would pull the pockets out from underneath you. Your hands will come to the ground midway between your knees and your hip bones. It's Dandasana, or staff pose. So you pull the belly in and try to sit as tall as you can. Your hands help you pull the chest through. And then look down the tip of your nose. And if that makes you cross-eyed and it's uncomfortable, find one point on the ground to look at. Rooting through the legs so that you can pull the belly in and extend the heart. One more breath here. The right knee is going to bend, coming into a figure 4. So the sole of the right foot comes to the inside of that left leg, coming into Janushirshasana. Your shoulders will pivot so that they're facing the extended left leg. Inhale the hands up to the sky. And exhale, start to fold the body in half, folding forward, reaching for that left foot. And then your chin can come towards your chest. Your head comes towards your knee. Notice where you feel sensation. For me, it's through the lower back on the right side. For some people, it's behind that extended left leg or in the hip. Release the pose, come up to sit. Your upper body is tall, and then switch sides. Left leg comes in. The hips are set, and then you pivot the shoulders so that they're facing the extended right leg. Inhale, the arms come up to the sky. Exhale, reach forward, like you're reaching for something just beyond the yoga mat. And then let the hands release. Chin can come to the chest. There is some effort to keep you here, but the rest of the body can be at ease. So if your neck feels tension, if you feel like you're really pulling yourself, perhaps you step back a little bit. Take this next breath and receive it with your whole body. The lungs expand in all directions. And then slowly you'll release. Upper body, shoulders come on top of the hips. The feet come to the ground and your knees can bend. Hold behind the legs to sit on the front of your sitting bones. And sit up again as tall as you can. Your belly might come towards your thighs. Awareness at the base of the spine. Right now you might feel stable, and we're going to play with that. You can lift the heels off the ground. Maybe you lift one foot and then the other, and then still try to sit tall on the front of your sitting bones. And if you want to go there, you can extend the legs and you can release the hands, coming into more of a boat pose, pulling the belly in, but still extending the heart. As though there's a hand supporting you from behind, holding your heart up. Notice if you feel a lot in your legs, in the groin, then maybe you want to bend the knees slightly. And then the feet come back to the ground. Hold behind the legs, behind the knees. Look at your belly button and start to roll the body down. Lower back, so that'll be the coccyx and the first three vertebrae. And then middle back and upper back. And then just for right now, let the arms come overhead and extend, pointing your toes and reaching through the hands. And then if you notice that your lower back comes off the ground, tilt the tailbone towards your heels and press the spine, the lower back down. And breathe here. Just like we did in the beginning, you're going to hold the right knee into the chest. This time you can angle the knee out so it comes more towards the shoulder. The left knee might slightly bend, that's okay. And then you can straighten that right leg any amount. Sometimes it feels good to slightly bend the right knee. And from here, one more time, you'll take the right leg across the body for a twist. Imagine cleansing out any toxins, any bad feelings, anything that's not going to serve you in this twisting motion. Release, come back to center, hug both knees into the chest. And then the right leg will extend. Keep a hold of that left knee and you can angle it out more towards the left shoulder. Feeling your spine, the whole back of your body supported on your yoga mat. You can straighten the left leg any amount. Noticing where you make space in the body, where you feel the stretch. And then the left knee will come all the way across the body for a final twist. When you release, you can hug both knees into the chest. Imagine giving yourself a really loving, nurturing hug. And then extend the legs and set yourself up for final Shavasana. If you'd rather cover yourself with something or you want a pillow, then take a moment to set yourself up. When you're ready, the eyes will close and you'll find stillness. As you begin to settle into Shavasana, I'll read a poem. It's called Remember by Joy Harjo. You can continue to let the body settle in, and these words will still wash over you. You'll also get a copy of it later. Remember. Remember the sky that you were born under. Know each of the stars' stories. Remember the moon. Know who she is. Remember the sun's birth at dawn. That is the strongest point of time. Remember sundown and the giving away to night. Remember your birth, how your mother struggled to give you form and breath. You are evidence of her life and her mother's and hers. Remember your father. He is your life also. Remember the earth whose skin you are. Red earth, black earth, yellow earth, white earth, brown earth. We are earth. Remember the plants, trees, animal life, who all have their tribes, their families, their histories too. Talk to them. More importantly, listen to them. They are alive poems. Remember the wind, remember her voice. She knows the origin of this universe. Remember you are all people and all people are you. Remember you are this universe and this universe is you. Remember all is in motion, is growing, is you. Remember language comes from this. Remember the dance language is, that life is. Remember. Bringing your mind back, noticing your body, your breath, your mind, noticing her, your soul, your highest being, your essence. Gently wake the body up. Small movements in the fingers, the toes, wrists, ankles. Hug the knees into the chest. Give yourself a squeeze. Roll onto one side. And take this moment to pause before you transition into the rest of the day. Acknowledge something you can bring with you from the mat, from the practice of yoga, throughout your day or your week. And then push yourself up to a comfortable seat. Hands can come to the center of the chest in Anjali Mudra. Honoring self, each other, our commitment to this practice. And in return, it will show up for us and support us again and again and again. May we each live intentionally, live consciously, live in beauty. Namaste.